This movie is about the greatest product ever and a turning point to black people community. And it's not just that. The story in itself has the greatness and undying effect that we all know as Air Jordan. But we also get to see the magic that is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck after seeing them from Good Will Hunting. Back in 1984, Michael Jordan was not just a rookie anymore. He was mentioned in the line of Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, John Stockton, and more. So basically, Nike was dominating in the running shoe domain, but at that time, basketball was dominated by Adidas and Converse, and Nike's basketball division was under the nerves of disposal. But that's when our lead steps in. Sonny Vaccaro, played here by Matt Damon, a basketball scout for Nike, decides to spend the entire budget on the certain player instead of splitting the money to different players. This is my video analysis on the movie Air, the story of greatness. Sonny, our lead, watches taped record of the match where Jordan outshined his own team's ace, as their team coach bet everything on him. While watching the same clip over and over again in another TV, Sonny spots a commercial on head tennis racket where the athlete says this is his version and not a version of bat that he used to play. This is the moment where Sonny strikes his role. Phil Knight was the CEO of Nike at that time, and here in this scene, he is to discuss the progress with the basketball signings with the one in charge, and that being Sonny. This scene here was the setup of the movie. Sonny asked for more to be invested in basketball, but Phil declines as the returns have not been rewarding, and the board is not interested to do so either. Sonny brings to Phil how he started this company, which is by taking massive risk on potential successful routes. And to Sonny, who has a knack for gambling, believes that he needs a bankroll to fill in the void in results. Phil questions his record in return and says this:
We dominate the running shoe market, Sonny. 200 million running shoes, because that's what people do. They run. And when they walk, they wear running shoes. And when they go to the store, they wear running shoes. And when they go to work, they wear running shoes. That's what they do.
This clip, though it is quite right, it's also rigid as that time even no one thought they would be wearing running shoes anyway. Anyone who is comfortable with something will wear what they think is right for the occasion. Take the present for example. People wear dunks on for the dates and such occasions. It's more of a feeling as ever than the basketball shoe that it's supposed to be, right? This discord between Sonny and Phil is the spark through which he breaks through with his idea. Despite Phil insisting not to spend the entire budget on the skid Jordan, Sonny speaks with the Jordan's agent, who outright declines him by saying you're never getting the deal. Sonny tries his best and then decides to just visit the Jordans, as the parents are the ones who makes the deal for Michael Jordan for pretty much everything. Check this guy's guts out. I mean, he is literal embodiment of Nike saying, just do it. This is also the moment that shows us that Sonny will do anything in what he believes is right. When Sonny enters the yard of the Jordans introducing himself, he quickly realizes that Miss Jordan is the one in charge of the household. In moments after sitting down, Sonny lays out why Jordan should take up on Nike. But with that, he adds how the meeting with Adidas and Converse would go for them. This is the place where the Sonny makes a big impression on Miss Jordan. In fact, he even goes around to imitate Adidas rep.
Oh, Mrs. Jordan, welcome
You
to...
could just tell me.
Okay, sorry.
But he makes a very bold move by saying to Miss Jordan that the management of Adidas may crumble in coming years. I mean, yeah, it looked like that for at that time, but that's a bold ass move. Then when Miss Jordan asks,
What should I ask you?
Ask me why I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Why are you in Wilmington, North Carolina?
Because I believe in your son.
The talk ends there, but now he has to wait on the uncertainty that what the Jordans gonna choose on as their brand partner. Every now and then, this chick walks in, alright? Katrina Saints? I mean, knowing Ben Affleck a bit of, he should have put a lot of thought in making these pass whenever she walks in and go. Which made me think why her screen presence is so powerful. I mean, Ben must have seen something in her, right? Right? When David Falk, the agent of Jordan's, gets to know what Sonny has done, basically going behind David Falk and meeting the Jordans, David bursts out in anger and bashes Sonny in every way possible. And I mean every way possible, literally. But when Sonny says to him, "What if I seal the deal with the Jordans?" To which David says that he will be his best friend from then on, but obviously, what can he do, anyways? And this is when he slips to Sonny that the Jordans are coming to Beaverton to see what Nike's got to offer and a little bit of involuntary idea on how they can sell the deal with the Jordans. This means that Sonny hit right on the spot with whatever he told to Miss Jordan. Now, one of the rules that Nike has is to not let your personal ambition into the business. But as we can see clearly, Sonny's very same ambition is what's driving Phil insane when he comes to know that he went behind his back just as much as he did with David Falk, making promises that they haven't sanctioned yet. The discord between Phil and Sonny is only existent. Sonny meets Peter Moore, basically the shoemaker, the designer that made what we go crazy by these days. Sonny tells Peter that they have to make a shoe based on the athlete. More like the shoe itself is the athlete and not the shoe that's worn by the athlete. Ya dig? You gotta understand that Sonny, our lead, right, is dragging around the entire basketball division under his back on just a whim that they gonna seal Michael Jordan and that he gonna revolutionize everything. And this is where Rob Strasser, a man who undeniably plays a crucial role in making of the greatest product ever, is also one to be more dynamic. Why? Cause in this movie, right, he appears to be just tagging along Sonny and believing in his whim. But when I searched about Rob Strasser to see his role significance, he appeared to be more elusive, as his personality itself is quoted to be as Rob's persona was as big as Nike itself, and that Rob loved problems, basically solving problems, which I found from this article that I have linked in the description, where it's also stated that Rob made the statements that goes like the player is everything. He is the one running in his lungs out and winning things. The product should focus on them. Them should be the brand. Doesn't it sound familiar to you guys? For those who watched the movie, I mean, these were the things that Sonny Vaccaro is stating in this movie. The more I read this article, the more I came to know that Rob Strasser looks like the MVP of Air Jordan, and Sonny and the team were assisting him on it. But what do I know? I'll just come back to the movie. Rob in here is on the line with Sonny to his all. Sonny's steps will affect Rob, and in that way, Rob's family too. Keeping that in mind, all Sonny can do now is move forward.
それは進み続けた者にしかわからない。俺は進み続ける。
To which Rob stands firm too. With that, on the meeting with Moore on how to design the shoe, they come up with a crazy idea to pay the fines that NBA has for the color of the shoes, which is for the shoe to be 51% white. Instead, Rob says to Moore to make it more red. They went full on fuck it we ball mood while Phil, the CEO, is totally clueless about the bills he gotta pay. But this caught in my eye. Sunny is basketball guru, right? Like that's how it's portrayed in this movie. That's how Phil says he is too. How does he not know about the rule from NBA about the shoe color? He pretending so that he can fit in a dialogue for us audience to understand about the rule? Eh? Should be, right? Anyway, this is the start of Air Jordan, the product that's simply a shoe but has more value to one, like in the movie they say, which resonated through my soul. A shoe is always just a shoe until someone steps into it. Now, no matter who it is, they feel at ease when they can relate with each other, be it language, race, or even the place. For example, the Jordans are here on Beaverton to meet Nike representatives. Here, it's everything on the line for the Nike representatives, and the plan and the team itself is what you might call an expertise for each dimension. Even still, it's only until Chris Tucker, here playing Howard White, comes and does the air. The tension goes down and the wall crumbles. The Jordans let themselves loose, but the Iron Lady, that is our Miss Jordan, is still in her composure even when Mr. Jordan lets out the only brother in the room and you're late. She's tough, man. She's as tough as anyone can be. Coming back to the race significance, it's just the way we humans are, and it's uncannily beautiful to me. The shoe, come on, we all know the first Jordan is gorgeous and radiates the bulls and screams Jordan. Michael fell for it like anyone would or should. It's exactly in that moment Phil crashes in the meeting. Now I've read the memoir of Shoe Dog. In that, Phil appears to be what you might call witty. Ben has done a good job in fulfilling that, but something about Phil feels off. Maybe it's the way I interpreted him from the book, or he's actually pretty boastful. I don't know, but here, even Phil doesn't know what his team has pulled his leg by informing that Nike will handle all the fines and stuff for Jordan to play with this Air Jordan, which is completely red. I mean, almost fully red. And so they have to pay fine for each match that Michael Jordan appears with it. Coming back to this clip, Rob shows how Jordan can be, how his life will be, as he's not just someone, but he's actually the only one. When Rob kicks in the video as Phil instructs, those OG RGB projector blinks in and we all expecting that to drip on the Jordans like Phil insists it will. But Sonny reads the air in the room as he confirms at it when he glances at Howard White. He immediately decides to chuck the video presented by Rob and instead he speaks from his heart. This is the final moment wherein the Sunny yet again steals not only Miss Jordan but also Michael along with her. This is clearly evident throughout the meet as whenever Sunny's pitch works, Mr. Jordan beams up to Michael and Miss Jordan downplays it to assert vagueness as Ceiling Deal is bargaining for any bone you can get, right? This movie is the showcase of what your worth is. Not you. I'm saying what anyone's worth can be. That's only until we put forward to it. Like when Cristiano entered Saudi Pro League, the country's law was bypassed just for him. Just because his worth is that big, because they know he's gonna carry the league. Now, even though I know this is a scripted movie and the true events are altered or can be to produce the emotional entertainment, but the way this movie interludes through future and present throughout the dialogues to convey the extraordinary force that is Michael Jordan was inspiring to watch. Not only did the Air Jordan sell $162 million in its very first year, the yield was so high that Nike had to make a separate division to manage all the incomes. All the money that's generated on Air Jordan, a portion of it goes to Michael's family till now as an aggressive passive income. Goes to show that a shoe is just a shoe until Michael Jordan steps into it.